It's Steve here. It's August 18th, 2020. And today I'm going to talk to you about repetition. So, I learned a long time ago there's two ways to learn. There's uh, instant shock learning. It's where you put your hand on the stove and you get burned and you pull it back, and it's that emotional, pain involved, shock, and man, you learn you're not going to touch that stove when it's red hot again. Then you might have to pay for it by the healing process and your hand hurting for several weeks. But that's one way to learn. But the preferred, better method to learn is called repetition learning, and it's doing something over and over and over. You're listening to it over and over and over again, and in school, some people seems like they could learn something by just reading it or it being exposed to it one time, and they seem to get it. And I think that's possible, but for somebody like me who my mind kind of goes in zigzags and goes off in different directions, and I don't seem to hold on to that thought too long. I need to hear something over and over and over again. I remember I must have been in fourth or fifth grade, and I was trying to learn the times tables, and I remember having to stay after school and getting on the back then we had chalkboards. I don't think they have those anymore, but you get on the chalkboard and I'd write down all the times tables, and I remember writing those on that chalkboard over and over and over again, and having that repetition of having it over and over and over again, and finally I got it. It seemed like it took me 3 or 4 times longer than the rest of the kids did to learn this stuff, but the point is that it can, that repetition, that's kind of never gone away. I believe that when you find something that works, I'll listen to it over and over and over again. Um, if you find a really good teaching, I'll even sometimes just hear a sermon, or even my church, um, our pastor does, records his sermons. If it's really good, I'll go back and listen to it 4, 5, 6 times, because I'll get something different out of it every time. The book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which was written nearly 100 years ago, I've listened to that on tape probably 50 or 60 times, and I've read the book at least 20 or 30 times. And every time I go into it, and I'm always seems like I'm always carrying that book around in particular and reading it, but every time I do, I get something different out of it. And Dale Carnegie's the How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've listened to that and read those books over and over and over again, and it's what we become what we think about. So that is in your control. So you become what you think about, and you also become what others think about. And I'm not saying that we should care about what others think. It's more important. It's more important. What people think of you is none of your business. What you think of you is all of your business. That's everything. So who you're exposed to is will direct your life, and it'll cause you to either succeed or fail based on who you're around and who you're listening to and the way those people are thinking. So if you happen to have a relative that's very negative and condescending and lies and cheats and steals, if you spend an inordinate amount of time with that relative, you're going to pick up those habits and that way of thinking and that incorrect thinking that'll cause the same results that they'll get. Because I can guarantee if you really look at it, there's a cause and effect to what happens. So when you do those things, when you lie, cheat, steal, those kind of things, there will be a price to pay for that. And usually you'll see it. That person ends up with financial problems. People are stealing from them. Life tends to give back to you what you put out. So the more you put out, whatever you're getting. And so one way to look at it is, whatever you're, it's hard sometimes to take the responsibility and say this life, it's my fault, it's my responsibility, especially if it was perceived as some type of an accident. But if you go back and you say, like, I broke my leg, I had an accident in a forklift, and it was a very bad, it was more like a crushed leg, and they had to do 2 surgeries on it to repair it. And I had to take, I took responsibility and said, that was my fault. It wasn't it's not like I caused it to happen, but in a sense I did. By when I look back on it, I take full responsibility for that. And also, I also, made up my mind that the surgeries were going to be successful, and that my left leg that was crushed will be stronger than my right leg when it's all healed. And and I put that thought in my mind over and over and over again. But and that did come to pass. Now, currently my right leg is, the knee is kind of hurt, so it's still stronger. But again, this idea of repetition, where you put something in your mind and go over and over and over again, it'll work for the negative as well as the positive. So if you're put in your mind, this work sucks, or my life sucks, and you put that in over and over and over again, you will get back. You will become what you think about. So, and that is in your complete power and control to direct that any way you want. So you can direct your thoughts or your mind any way you want. And when you find out that it's your responsibility to do that, and when you take that responsibility and you embrace it and you go for it, your life can become whatever it is that you want. But be careful, because if you don't cultivate it, your life will probably become something that you don't want, because an undisciplined or when an undisciplined mind will create a barrier to success, and you will end up in failure. So I just want you to make sure that you look at this the right way. But remember that your repetition is going to come anyways, and purposely plant on the inside of your thinking and on the inside of your mind the stuff that you want, and keep your mind off the stuff you don't want. And the stuff that you want, what you want for your life: happiness, joy, freedom, being debt free, wealthy. Keep those thoughts going through your mind over and over and over again, and set a goal. Whatever it is, you can achieve it. And it's going to be in repetition. And it's interesting. Things become a habit at some point. So I made a goal about a year ago to do 1,000 push-ups a day. And this morning I woke up, and yesterday morning I only had about 3 hours of sleep, and I just woke up and just automatically went to it. It's like I almost didn't think about it. I still have to think about it a little bit, but I've been doing it so many days. I think I've got 300 days in a row where I have not missed a day of doing push-ups and crunches and stuff, and it's just become a habit. And that repetition has caused that. And it's interesting, because that's how I start my day. So I have, every day when I started and when I finished those last, 50 or 100 push-ups, it's I feel a sense of accomplishment, and that kind of goes on throughout the entire day. So I guess I just wanted to encourage you that repetition and repetition learning is the best way to do it. So when you find something good, and maybe even this talk, listen to it over and over and over again, and I think you'll discover something that you didn't know was there, and it'll help guide you. But I want you to succeed, and that's my goal. And I'm testing this stuff that I'm talking about out on myself, and I have been for many years. And I can tell you it works. And and keep your mind positive, and keep your energy up, and get yourself in the habit of repetition, and keep your mind, especially your thoughts, repeat the stuff that you want and not the stuff that you don't want. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.